So we can start. Om Jnanatimrandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvatam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitanscha He Krishna Karuna Sindha Dīnabandha Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayine Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha Pancha Tattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Janmadhyasya Anvayaditaratas Charthe Subhigyaswarat Tehine Brahma Hridaya Adhikavaye Muhyanti Yat Surayah Tejo Varimridam Yatha Vinimayo Yatra Trisargo Mrisha Dhamna Svena Sada Nirastakokam Satyam Param Dhimahi Narayanam Namaskritya Naranchaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Swasti Astu Vishwasya Khalah Prasidatam Dhyayantu Bhutani Shivam Mithodhya Manasya Bhadram Vajata Dhokshajay Aveshyatam No Matirapyahituki. So you are welcome to this evening's talk on foundations of Guru Tattva. So Guru Tattva is a little complex Tattva because it has its two sides, human side and divine side. So it's difficult to understand. So first I will speak why do we need Guru. That's an important topic these days. Many people say that there is no need of Guru. Everybody should chart their own path. Everybody is unique. So therefore everybody has to follow their own process. And there is no such thing as generic, that you have to follow one standard thing from one standard person. And anyway, why we have to bow down to somebody? Guru is also a human being. He was also born like anyone else. He will also die in the same way. So why go to another human being? What is so special? And then anyway, gurus, they also do some cheating. So many stories how they hoodwink the disciples or they take away their money. And this must be from the old times, because there is a sloka in Sanskrit which Bhagavan Shiva is speaking to Parvati. Guruva Bahava Santi Sishya Vitta Apaharaka Durlabha Guruva Yes Sishya Chitta Apaharaka. So he is saying that there are many gurus available who take away the wealth of the disciples. Vitta means wealth, but they don't purify the chitta. If they take vitta and purify chitta, that's fine. But simply taking the vitta and not purifying the chitta, then says that's not a guru. So therefore people, especially at present, do not have much faith in Guru. The office of Guru or position of Guru has become very controversial. And there have been many Gurus also who speak against it. Osho was one among them. He was against all this Guru business. He criticized very heavily. And some others also. Swami Ram Sukdas also was against it. Although they themselves taught all their life, but said don't have Guru. And they have their reasoning, some logic. So, but why we are saying that we should have Guru, and why traditionally this was required for everyone to have a Guru? So the reason is that as human beings, we are born, and when we are born in ignorance. And we don't even know the basic things. In fact, in comparison with animals, birds, we are quite handicapped when we at birth. Because you see these puppies or calves here born. After birth, they are quite capable of taking care of themselves. They run to mother, drink milk, and then they're okay. But human child requires so much care, otherwise cannot survive. So it is like human child is born prematurely in comparison to others. And then he has to be trained, he learns. So this is the specific facility of human beings, that we have facility or faculty of speech, and we can transfer knowledge with that. And that's why human beings can change themselves and become superhuman beings. In case of other species of life, they remain whatever they are. They don't develop more than that. So it's not that some dog becomes super dog or cow becomes super cow, but human beings can become by education and by proper behavior and practice. So therefore there is a need for a guru. And if we analyze our life, we all have desires. And the basic desire is that we want sukhavapti dukkhani. We want happiness and we don't want to suffer. And we seem to feel happy when our desires are fulfilled. So we have desires. But then how to fulfill those desires? We need knowledge for that. We do not always know how to fulfill our desire in a proper manner. So therefore we require knowledge for that. So in other words, every human being is born in ignorance and has great need for knowledge. Even to survive in the material world, we need knowledge. And that knowledge comes from outside. Although there is this idea that all knowledge is inside us, but nobody has any practical experience of that. Many people believe in it, but what is the experience of it? Somebody was saying someone has written a book and some people was living in an island, and I don't know the whole story, but he got knowledge. So therefore knowledge is inside. But why you have to live on the island? We are living on Earth planet, but we don't get knowledge by ourselves. We all learn it from others. Even how to go to toilet, you have to learn. So we need, and knowledge comes from outside, and we have our primary facility for acquiring knowledge is through our senses. We have 5 senses, cognitive senses, and all the knowledge which we have comes through them. And that comes in 3 ways. One is called direct perception or prataksha, inference, anuman, and shabda pramana. So these are the 3 ways that all our knowledge comes. So either we have experience of things ourselves, but that is also limited, because we cannot experience things which happened in the past. So how to get knowledge of that? That cannot come by experience, because you cannot experience past, you cannot get knowledge of future. So prataksha has a limitation that it works only in the present time. And then on top of that, our senses themselves have limitation. So then we use other things like making inference, and also shabda. Means we hear or read and we acquire knowledge through that of past or of objects which are not within the purview of our senses, which are beyond the range of our senses, or we are not in that particular place or time, because we are not all pervasive. We are limited in time and space. So if you want to get knowledge of objects and things and activities which are beyond our own present locus in time and place, we need shabda or some anuman. But then shabda is of 2 types. One is the laukika, other is alaukika. One is the parushaya shabda, means knowledge through word which comes through the shabda which is of human beings, which other human beings have experienced. So ultimately shabda is also somebody's prataksha. When we get knowledge either by reading a book or listening to some story or watching a movie, etc., that is shabda. But there, whoever is speaking, then this is his or her prataksha, or they have got it from another shabda. But ultimately all knowledge in this world, what you have, it is somebody's prataksha. And then prataksha is limited. So how can we get knowledge of things which are beyond our sense perception? So it cannot come from material sound or material shabda. So therefore for that there is the aparushaya shabda or alaukik shabda. So this is the shabda which is given by God Himself, who is the creator of the world and who gave knowledge to humanity. So only through that we can understand knowledge which is beyond sense perception. And one may say, why do we need that knowledge? So we need that knowledge because the knowledge which we get through our own senses is of this world and it's material. It does not tell anything about us, who is beyond matter. It does not say anything about consciousness. All our knowledge which we have is about the matter, and not about Atma or consciousness. So knowledge about consciousness, whether individual consciousness or the supreme consciousness, it comes through Shabda Pramana. And that Shabda is the Shabda of Bhagavan or the Supreme Creator. So he gives knowledge. But he is not available at present. So therefore he has given knowledge at certain point in time, and that knowledge comes through parampara, which is called sampradāya. So as Sri Krishna himself says, evam parampara praptam imam rajarshayo vidu sakalena mahato yogo nashta parampara parantapa. So he says that I spoke this knowledge, imam vivashvate proktam, that I spoke this knowledge to Vivashvan, and Vivashvan manve praha manurikshvakava bravit. So knowledge was originally given by Bhagavan to humanity, Manu, and through Manu comes to other beings. And then there are sages who got the knowledge. So this is the meaning of parampara or sampradāya. So sampradāya means, it comes from da dhatu. Da means to give. So that which is an instruction. Sampradāya means the instruction which comes through parampara. Guru-paramparāgat sadupdesa sampradāya. That is actually the definition of sampradāya. Samyak prakishta rupena dadati is sampradāya. So which gives pure, perfect, complete knowledge. That is called sampradāya. And sampradāya also refers to the parampara or the lineage. So guru-paramparāgat sadupdishta vyakti samuha sampradāya. These are the two meanings. The instructions which come in the chain of guru-disciple succession is also called parampara, and the chain is also called sampradāya. And another word for this is parampara. Parampara means uninterrupted. Para, apara. Apara means this side, para means that side. So one to another. So that is called parampara. So knowledge comes through this, because one cannot get knowledge by oneself. Svato jnanam kutai punsham bhakti vairagyam eva va. Vidura says this, that how is it possible that one can get knowledge by oneself, or bhakti, or even vairagya. And Krishna also says this when he is teaching to Uddhava, that anadya vidya yuktasya purushasya atma vedanam svato na sambhavad anyas tattvagyo jnanado bhavet. That we are under the influence of avidya or ignorance, which has no beginning, and therefore it is not possible that we can get out or we can get knowledge about it. So this he says in another place also, where he says Devi he sagunmayi mam maya duratya or ajnane navritam jnanam tena vahyanti jantava. So in so many places it is said that living being, they are under the influence of avidya or ajnan, and therefore there is a need for guru. So this is the reason that we have desires, we want to be happy, but we cannot know it by ourselves, because our instruments, they are also steeped in ignorance. So that's why there is need for guru, and therefore one of the definition of guru is given like that guru shabdastu andhakara syat, ru shabdastam nirodhaka, and andhakara nirodhatvat guru iti abhidhiyat. So gu means darkness, ignorance, and ru means the remover of that ignorance. Therefore guru means one who removes ignorance. That's why we have the popular verse Jnanatimrandhasya. From derivation point of view, the word guru comes from Gri Shabde Dhatu, Kriyadigan, and then U pratyaya is applied on it, so it becomes guru. So therefore guru means granati upadishti shastrani, the guru. So guru means one who gives instruction of shastra, or acharya atanoti shastrarthan acharya sthapyatyapi swayam acharti yasmat guru iti guru shabdo nigadyate or guru iti abhidhiyate. So acharya iti kathyate. So guru means, or acharya means one who teaches shastra, who also practices it himself and makes the students practice it. So for this reason there are so many instructions in Shastra to approach and have a guru. Tasmad gurum prapadyate jigyasu shreya uttama shabde parecha nishnata brahmani samo upashreyam tad vijnanartham sa gurumeva bhigachet samit pani shrotriyam brahmanishtam acharyavan purusho vedaha तद्विद्धि प्रणिपातेन परिप्रश्नेन सेवया उपदेक्षन्ति ते ज्ञानं ज्ञानिनस्तत्त्वदर्शिनः आचार्याधिएव विदिता विद्या साधिष्ठं प्रापयति. So there are so many statements, direct statements in the Upanishads, in the Puranas, in Bhagavad Gita. Sri Krishna is saying this, that how one should go and approach a guru and get knowledge from that. And the purpose of having a guru is to learn from that, because that's what the word guru means. Guru means a teacher. If you have to translate in English, then guru simply means teacher, and teacher means one who teaches. And when we are in the path of bhakti or spiritual path, means he teaches that particular path. So therefore Bhagavatam says, Tatra Bhagavatan Dharman Shikshed Guru Atma Daivata Amaya Anuvrityaya Tushed Atma Atma Dohari. Yai Tushed Atma Atma Dohari. So there it is instructed that if you should learn Bhagavad Dharma. Bhagavad Dharma means this path of bhakti from Guru, by respecting him as one's own self and Devata, Guru Atma Devata. So Tatra Bhagavatan Dharman Shikshed Guru Atma Devata and Amaya Anuvritya. So anuvritti means service, and amaya means without any deception or cheating, means with sincerity. And this is very pleasing to Bhagavan. Yai tushed atma atmado hari. So by this Hari or Krishna, who gives himself, is pleased. So that is the need to have guru, and then purpose of having a guru means to have knowledge from that, to have education from him. So one can also say that we can read books. Now books are available. In the olden days books were not available. Internet is there, you can even download books, you don't need to buy. You can go and free downloads are available and everything is translated. So why go to a guru? So Shweta Sutra Upanishad says that you can do that, but you will not understand. Because then when you read Shastra, and as I said that all our knowledge is material, it comes from the senses. So whenever we learn anything new, then we learn with what we already have, by comparing with that, or the knowledge of the words which we have. With that only we make sense. After all, Shastra contains sentences, and sentences are made from words, and words have meaning. And the word which we are using, they are material, and we have material knowledge. So when we are going to use or read books which are giving spiritual knowledge, how are we going to understand the meaning of those words? Because if you don't have the meaning of the words, you cannot have the meaning of the sentence. And if you don't understand the meaning of sentence, you don't have meaning of the book. So that's why you need a teacher for that. And even then it is not easy to understand, because this is a very big problem, that we have words and same words are used in Shastra also. Shastra is not using some other words. Same words which we use in our day-to-day life. Maybe some words are extra, like Paramatma, Bhagavan, Brahman, Ishvara. These may not be the words which common people use, but most of the words are same. So how are we going to understand, first of all, those words which we do not know, and then even those words which we use, they have, or they may have a different meaning. After all, language also changes its meaning, every language. If you take English, there are so many words which had some other meaning of so many words before, 500 years ago or whatever, but now those same words have a different meaning. And newer meanings keep coming. So we may have words at present which have a different meaning than the same word which was used in the Shastra. So how will we know that? So that's why we need parampara. Because knowledge, if it is coming in parampara, then the guru, our guru, has learned from his guru, his guru, his guru. So then the knowledge will come as it was given by Bhagavan or the sage who had realized that knowledge, and then that knowledge is passed on. Otherwise there is going to be misunderstanding. Even when we have guru, there are misunderstandings. What to speak if we read it ourselves? So this idea that you can understand Shastra on your own, this is not possible. That's why Vidura said, Svato Jnanam Kutaya Punsham. That how is it possible? Meaning it is not possible. So that's why one has to have guru and study from that. And then guru has to be qualified, so then there is no this idea that guru can do this or guru can do that. One has qualified guru, means who is a qualified teacher who teaches, then knowledge will be transferred. So therefore Shveta Upanishad says, Yasya deve para bhakti yatha deve tatha guru tashyete kathata hi artha prakashante mahatmana. So there is also something mystical besides hearing, that some grace is needed, because our avidya is causeless. The ignorance which we have, anadi avidya, it does not have a cause. This is the problem. If it had a cause, then you could remove the cause. But it is causeless. So if it is causeless, how will it be removed? There is no way to remove it. So it is only by the grace of Bhagavan that it can be removed, not by anything else. So therefore this is the compassion of Bhagavan on us, that he comes and he manifests as teacher, as acharya, as guru. And that is the way to understand it. So he says, Acharya mam vijaniyat, nav manyet karhichit, na martya buddhya suyet, sarva deva mayo guru. So he says that you should know that I am the acharya. And this is the difficulty which I said, that guru has two sides. So one side is the guru is a human being, like any one of us. And the other side is that he is Acharya is Krishna himself. So he himself is saying Acharya mam vijaniyat. And then there are so many statements. Sakshadharitvena samasta śāstra yuktas tatha bhavyate eva sadbhi. So he is called Sakshat Hari, not that he is a representative. He actually said that he is Mantratma Devta Geya Devta Guru Rupini. Tesham bheda na kartavya yadi chedishtam atmana. This is written in śāstra that mantra, devata and guru, they are one. So we know that there is devata or Krishna or the deity, and then there is a mantra for that. And there is no difference between mantra and him, abhinnatvat nama namina, because mantra is basically having the name of that deity. So there is no difference between devata and mantra, they are one. But then he says that devata guru roop, that devata is manifest as guru. So therefore Bhagavan manifests as mantra and he manifests as guru and also as Archa Vigraha. So this is how he is available to us here, being in this material world. And thus it is said that one should not make any distinction between them. So in 11th canto, when Sri Krishna concluded his teachings to Uddhava, then Uddhava spoke this very nice sloka making this point. It says, Naya upiyanti apchitim kaviyo tavesha brahmayusapi kritam riddham udasmaranta yo antar bahistanu bhritam ashubham vidhunvan acharya chatvapsha swagatim vyanakti. So he is saying that, O Lord, even if we serve you with a lifespan of Brahma, we cannot repay our debt to you, what you have done to us. So, naya upiyanti apchitim kaviyo tavesha. That even the great kavis, learned, intelligent people, they cannot become free from the debt kritam riddham udasmaranta, which you have done to us, the upkar, the benefit, the welfare you have done to us. And what is that? Yo antar bahis ashubham vidunvan, that you are destroying our inauspiciousness of living beings by being inside and by being outside. So how is that inside and outside? Acharya chaitya vapasha swagatim vinakti. Outside you are manifest as Acharya and inside as Paramatma. Sarvasya chaham hridhi sannivishta. So therefore you are always there to do good to the living being in these ways. And then he also comes in his Archa Vigraha and as mantra or in the name. Here he is only mentioning about Acharya or Guru. So therefore Guru is a very important person, and it is only by good fortune that one can get a Guru, especially a qualified Guru. And if one gets, then that is one's great fortune. So this comes by the grace of Bhagavan, not otherwise. So as I said that our bondage is causeless, and it is only by causeless grace that that bondage can go away. But if we get that opportunity, then we should take advantage of that and not waste that opportunity. So that is, we should tadvidhi pranipatena pariprasnena sevaya. So we should do pariprasna, question, learn, do seva. And this is the very thing which Sri Rupa Goswami, when he is talking about bhakti, he mentions as the first step. Guru padashraya tasmat Krishna dikshadi shikshanam vishrambhena guru seva sadhu vartmanu vartanu. So this is the beginning of bhakti, that you take shelter, sharanagati of Guru, prapatti, and then take diksha. So diksha is the beginning, that's why it is called initiation. It is not the end. Some people think that taking diksha is the end. That is the beginning. It begins with that. Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, in one commentary, he writes like that. He says, Sri Guru Sampradāyam Shuddham Avichinnam Anushritya Eva Etat Pathan Pathan Shravanadikam Karyam. So he says that study of śāstra or hearing of katha or śāstra, this should be done only by following the Guru Sampradāya. Means taking diksha, studying, and that sampradāya, he said, should be two qualifiers he gives, Shuddham, Avichinnam. That this sampradāya should be pure and it should be unbroken. Two things he mentions. Because as we said, that parampara or sampradāya means it is giving knowledge. It is just like you get electricity in your house. So it comes from the powerhouse through the wire. That wire has to be unbroken, avichinna. Vichinna means broken down. And it should be pure. So then only you do pathan, shravan, kirtan, etc. This is his recommendation. Because without this knowledge which comes from parampara, one cannot get freedom from conditioning in the material world. Na vina jnana vijnane mokshasya adhigamo bhavet. You cannot get moksha, or to speak of bhakti, without knowledge of it. How can we get something which we don't even know? Especially in Advaita Vedanta field, there is one statement they always talk, Rite Jnanat na mukti. That mukti is not possible without jnana. But jnana does not always mean jnana of Advaita Vedanta. Bhakti is also jnana. So na vina jnana sampanne mokshasya adhigamo bhavet, and na vina guru sambandha jnanasya adhigamo bhavet. And without guru, jnana is not possible. So therefore, one has to have guru and then have diksha. And that is the very meaning of diksha. Diksha is defined as divyam jnanam yato dadyat kuryat papasya sanshayam tasmad diksha iti sa prokta desikai tattva kovidai. That the learned teachers who know the tattva, they have defined diksha as that from which comes divya gyan, divine knowledge, and one becomes free from papa, karoti papas, kuryat papasya sanshayam, which removes one's sins. So that is what is called diksha. So we hear it many times that when you take diksha, then Guru takes all your sins. Right? So what does it actually mean? So one way is normal way of understanding, as if we are carrying sin on our head. You take diksha and Guru gets the sin. Therefore sometimes Guru falls sick. They say this is because of the sins of the disciples. So actually that may be okay, but the real meaning of karoti papasya sankshyam. Sankshyam means that complete destruction of the sins. Because what is papa? What is sin? And what is punya? So this is the terminology which is used in dharma śāstra or in the religion, sin and piety. But the actual meaning is that all the problems come because we don't follow śāstra. When you don't act according to the injunction of śāstra, that is what is called sin. And when you act according to the injunction of śāstra, That is called piety. Papa and Punya, this is the basic definition. So when one accepts a guru, one becomes free from sin, because accepting guru means that now one is not going to act frivolously. Otherwise one has not accepted guru. If you have a guru and you still continue to follow your mind, then you have not accepted guru. If you don't follow śāstra, then that is not diksha. So diksha is, this is the meaning. There may be a formal ceremony for it, but true diksha is when you accept in the heart. That's why Rupa Goswami makes this statement, guru-paramparā tasmat, and then is diksha. He first says taking ashraya, taking shelter, which means you accept. That's what shelter means. That cannot be a ceremony. For taking shelter, you cannot just have a ceremony. Shelter is actually accepting. Otherwise you have not taken. There is no mantra chanting for padashraya. That is, mantra chanting is when you take diksha. So if one takes diksha in the true sense of the word, then sin is gone automatically, because now the person is not going to do anything wrong and the past sins are forgiven then. Just like somebody has committed crime, then he goes to the prison, but then the in charge of the prison understands, or the authorities understand that this person has rectified himself, then they release him. Okay, you're free. So that's what diksha means. It's like we are in the prison house of this material world, but we come to Guru, which means we rectify ourselves. We say, yes, I will never act independently now. So then no more sin. So that is the meaning, karoti papasya sanksha. So then it's not that Guru has to take the bundle of sin of the disciple. This is the practical understanding of it. And Guru takes responsibility. So that is the meaning, that if when there is a relationship and something happens to one person, it also influences another person. In any relationship is like that. So that is the meaning of taking sin or taking the burden. It's basically taking responsibility. That's what it means. So that is what is called diksha. And then there is shiksha. So diksha follows shiksha, because then only you will have shiksha. If you don't accept the Guru properly, means do not give up your independent action or working independently and listening to the Guru, then shiksha is not possible. That's why Sharanagati, Diksha and then Shiksha, he says. It's very logical. It's not just some ritualistic thing. It's a logical thing. If I want to learn from somebody, then I have to accept this person that he knows more than me. And then even if I have the right to question and try to understand, but if I don't understand, still I don't think that he is wrong. So then only education is possible. That's why it is said, yasya deve para bhakti yatha deve tatha guru. So that is the meaning of having bhakti in Guru as you have bhakti in the Ishta Devata. Because first of all there is no difference between them. And second is that then only the meaning of the śāstra will be revealed to you. Otherwise it will not be revealed, because whatever matches with your own understanding, you will accept that. What does not match, you will reject that. So then how Shastric meaning will be revealed to you? So it is not something which we cannot understand. It's very logical, that sloka also, that yasya deve para bhakti yatha deve tatha guru tasya vede kathata hi artha prakashante, because then only it will be revealed to you. Otherwise you will put a block yourself. Even if Guru is teaching you and saying to you, you will not understand it. Many times we have this experience, we have heard it, we did not later know, oh really now I understand why Guru Maharaj was saying like this or what he meant by this. So why it took us so long? Because we ourselves are blocking it by our resistance. So that is, therefore Diksha is important. This is the meaning of Diksha, to understand what it is and its importance. And it is for the benefit of the disciple. What is the gain of the Guru? There is no gain. So that's why he is saying, when he says, Nai upayanti apchitim kavyastabesha brahmayusapi kirtam riddhamudasmaranta. Because this is causeless. So if it is causeless, you cannot repay that. So that is the significance, and therefore it is said that if you do not have Diksha, then all your japa, tapa, archan, puja, all these things do not bear fruit. Why? Because the basic problem of the living entity is, this is called bhinna bhav or prathak bhav in Bhagavatam. That this idea that I am independent. We are actually living in the house of God. This material world is created by Him and we are inside His house. And He is supplying all the essential things. But we think we are independent from Him, we have nothing to do with Him. And we make independent plans. This is the sin. This is the problem. And the solution for this problem is surrendering to Guru. That's why when you go to Guru and take Diksha, then all that sin is gone. Because what is the sin? The sin is this idea of independent existence. Prathak bhav, bhinna bhav. And this is what, if you remember in Bhakti Sandarbha, when Jiva Goswami was citing the verses by Kapil Dev, so he said that as long as you have this bhinna bhav, he says all this puja, etc., he says, kurute tad vidambanam. He said that is just a show. Remember that? He was showing it, just a show. Show means like you go on the stage and you act in a play, so you know that it's not real, I'm just acting. So then all this puja, seva, all this becomes simply an act. There is no tattva in it. So this is the key point. And that's why this idea of this guru and parampara and sampradāya in India, this was very important here. It's a very unique characteristic of Vedic culture. It's Guru Tattva. And this is now you will see why Krishna says, Mame viya prapadyante mayame tam tarante. It's a very simple statement. We may have heard it 100 times and spoken 100 times, but this is the meaning of it. Mam eva ye prapadyante. Those who take shelter of me only. You can also go to Shiva, you can go to Brahma, you can go here, there. He says me. And me means Acharya. Acharya mam vijaniya. So Maya me tam tarantite, they only go, because as long as you are independent, that is the Maya, that is the avidya, that is the Agyan. And this is cutting the knot of that Maya. So this is what Guru Tattva actually means. And that's why there is so much praise given to Guru and so many stories. If you read stories in Bhaktamal, how people attained perfection simply by doing service to Guru, those examples are there, but they are to stress the importance of Guru. That does not mean that one does not have to study. There are slokas like this also, that actually all perfection can come simply by doing service, but still one should study. So in Bhagavatam, again and again Krishna speaks in 11th canto about Guru and so many other places. And he says that that Guru Bhakti Ayakya. That's simply by Guru Bhakti, Prahlad Maharaj's teachings, Narada's teachings, everywhere, Kapila's teachings, even Rishabdev, Guru na sasyat, so on. So that is the Guru Tattva, that is the importance, that how Krishna actually has given the facility, how you can link with him right here. Otherwise it is not possible. Otherwise he is adhokshaja. He is not visible. Naham prakasha sarvasya yoga maya samavrata. Mudhayam na abhijanati. So then we remain mudhas. So this is what I wanted to say. I will stop, and any questions you can ask. Okay, anybody has any question? Otherwise we'll stop.
Krishna had a question, but we have some issue with the speakers.
So there is a break in the parampara. Some impurity has come. Software problem? Okay, Tanmaji.
Can you hear me now, Baba?
Yeah.
I was asking about how to determine whether a parampara is unbroken, because our parampara starts 500 years ago. And many times people, they take Diksha and then years later they found out, oh, this parampara was broken. So what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, this is a problem, practical problem. So the only way you can see it is that the present Guru, if he or she knows the śāstra or studied śāstra, that is the one, because the purpose of parampara is gyan. It's not just a sequence of names. That's what we should understand. Because generally people say, no, it is not broken. Look here. So it's not just a lineage as we may have our family lineage or family tree. We just have names and that's it. Of course, we have come through that lineage. But here, this is called Nāda Parampara. That is called Bindu Parampara. So there is no question of breakage because you would not exist if there was a break. But here, this is Nāda Parampara. So if the Nāda is coming, then you have to check that. That is the only way. So that is the Prataksha Praman. Other will be Shabda Praman, where you give a list of names. So that is not easy, of course, difficult to understand.
Thank you, Bhushan.
Okay, Bhushan.
Babaji pranams. I have a question on Acharya Mam Vigyanya verse. So the context of the verse is Varnashram Dharma. I think Sri Krishna is talking about this duty of a brahmachari. So in that, correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought that like Varnashrama Guru does not necessarily have to be, we have realized the absolute truth. So in that case, how is Sri Krishna still saying that this Varnashrama teacher is also me? It's clear that if a Bhakti teacher is, because Bhakti Guru has Antaranga Shakti, has realized Krishna's will, definitely. But how is the Varnashrama Guru also same as Sri Krishna?
So it may not be realized Krishna, but he's realized that knowledge which he's teaching. I mean, he, as I said, the parampara is for knowledge.
Okay.
So just like somebody is a teacher of music, so he may not be God realized, but he is coming in that particular, like in India, we have paramparas, they are called gharana. Gharana basically means a house, but it refers here in relationship with music, a music tradition. Like there is a Delhi gharana, there is a Jaipur gharana, there is Allahabad gharana, there is Lucknow gharana. So these are traditions of music coming for hundreds of years. So there the guru means he has got that knowledge coming in that particular lineage or parampara. So like that Varnashram also has got its rules, principles, and that teacher has to be respected like that, because Varnashram can also lead to perfection. And from that now you have to apply the Kaimutya Nyaya, that if for Varnashram also Krishna is saying Acharya Mam Vijaniyat, so how much more it will be true for Bhakti, which is actually his heart, and how much more important and necessary it would be if for Varnashram itself is saying. Actually in Bhagavad Gita also when he is saying Tad Vidhi Pranipatena Pariprasnena, before that he is talking all various types of yagyas. And then he says, if you want to know, then go to the Guru. Anything else? Okay, we'll stop.